Welcome into the Snapped Podcast, my personal audio journal. My name is Tyler Kluber. I'm a personal trainer and podcaster, but it gets a little bit deeper than that, and this show is going to give you an inside look on my thoughts concerning health and fitness, business, mindset, and creating the life that you feel lucky to live. I hope you enjoy the show. Sit back, relax, and let's have a day. And creating the life you feel lucky to live. Oh, that asshole in the beginning. Got enough of him already. Oh my God. Well, we're back for another episode. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. I'm here talking on a microphone like I do 5 times a week. That's too many times. Too many times. The narcissism, the level of narcissism that I just self-create by the amount of times I podcast. I guess it's only 4 times a week. Well, that makes it all better. My little Pokemon guys are out of whack here. There we go. I don't know how that happened. Somebody's been messing with my fucking desk. What is going on? Getting pissed. All right. God, the hostility today. What's going on? It's 1/19/22, January 19th, 2022. How's everybody doing on their resolutions, guys? Have we quit yet? Did we refrain from making resolutions and we just decided that we're going to be adults and we're just going to do things? We're going to take control, be disciplined with a few new priorities. Probably the better way to do it, huh? Well, today we're going to talk about, and we've talked about this in a little bit more of a micro example before. I don't know what episode of the podcast, and this is a good thing because now we're getting to the point where we've done enough of these episodes where I don't know how far back or what number episode it was, but I know we did an episode on weight loss not being linear. Excuse me. Weight loss not being linear. And I'm going to rehash that topic today in a more broad and general sense. It has become a theme with not only my clients, my one-on-one clients, my group of challengers that are doing my New Year's challenge right now, but also for myself within the last couple days. Mine is more self-induced, sort of, but there's multiple reasons. We'll get into it here in a second. The idea that weight loss isn't linear, that gets a little bit, that's a very specific example. More so, I want to talk about the 80-20 rule. And I'm not talking about the 80-20 rule that's like, let's see. I think in work, when you're talking about a career, the 80-20 rule is like 80% of your most meaningful production comes during 20% of the time you put in, or something along those lines. The 80-20 rule when it comes to fitness and nutrition is like 80% of your gains. No. 80% of your diet needs to be consistent for you to see sustained progress and gains towards your goals, right? 80-20 rule in diet is you need to adhere to your diet, the guidelines of your diet, 80% of the days, right? So every 10 days, you should only have about 2 days where you go outside your calories a little bit, or you go outside your macros, or you don't get your water, or XYZ. The 80-20 rule that I'm going to talk about today, and it's very simple. This is not going to be a long podcast. And this is really just a reminder for everybody. I want to make everybody feel better about themselves. If you are a person who has recently, or maybe the day that you're listening to this, you're having one of those days where it's just like, I just don't have it today. Like, why can't I lift as much as I did last week? Why can't I run my mile or my course around the block or whatever it may be faster than I did last week? Why am I heavier than I was last week for someone who's on a weight loss journey? Or why am I lighter? Why did I lose weight when I'm trying to gain muscle and weight from last week, right? Why have I somehow, at least on the surface level, regressed? Why have I taken a step back? And this all relates back to progress when it comes to health and fitness not being linear. The easiest example is the weight on the scale. I cannot tell you why. I'm sure there's deeper scientific reasoning behind it. I'm sure there's been studies done on it. I'm not here to hash out peer-reviewed studies with 100 different sources and read you the details of some boring scientific experiment that somebody did. But when we lose weight as humans, even people who, even in the two most extreme cases I've ever had as a coach, 100 plus pounds, right? Even in those two people, it still happened at a few steps forward, 1 or 2 steps back, a few steps forward, 1 or 2 steps back kind of clip. Right now, for those two very extreme people who were up in the 300s, lost over 100 pounds each, yeah, it looked better. It was easier to deal with mentally, right? Each day they were losing about a pound. Every 2 to 3 days they were losing a pound, right? Easier to get through that when you're losing at that sort of clip, rather than every week you're losing a pound, or every 2 weeks you're losing a pound or a pound and a half, right? When we see progress, that helps us stay motivated to continue the behavior that resulted in that progress. When we are invalidated, or not invalidated, but at least not validated yet, in our minds, we automatically turn that into invalidation and say, well, what I'm doing is not working. And that's simply not the case. When it comes to weight loss, what I was saying was the body, for some reason, will lose, and let's go with the average person, right? So let's say you lose a pound. Let's say you go you're losing some freaking weight, right? And you're going 2 pounds a week. And this may be eye-opening to some of you who have stepped in recently on the podcast or just haven't, don't remember. If you're losing 2 pounds a week, you are moving at an insane rate of weight loss, right? Extrapolate that out to a year, that's over 100 pounds in 1 year. Anytime you've ever heard of somebody losing 100 pounds in less than a year, you go, holy shit. That's no one does that. That's like one of those unheard of transformations, right? Well, if you're losing 2 pounds a week, you're on course, right? That's where your ship's headed. Yet somehow, some people will get discouraged if they're not losing 3 or 4 pounds a week. We gotta zoom out. We gotta use that zoom feature and pinch the fingers in a little bit and zoom out and look at the whole picture, right? And again, that's the problem with today, the day and age that we live in, with technology that we've created, with the way that our society has evolved to work. Everything happens right now, right? We want to check the news. We get on Twitter, bang, right now. Turn on the TV, bang. Fucking what's happening over in China? 3 minutes, I can find out. Want to talk to my friends that live in fucking Ukraine, Sweden, and Canada. Bang, 2 minutes, I can put them all in a text thread. Who the fuck has friends that all live in those places, by the way? What a word, what a horrible analogy, but you know what I'm saying, right? We want a fucking cheeseburger, bang, right down to the corner. There's a McDonald's. I mean, even for me, I live in Waukee. It is very much so a town that was built on neighborhoods and residential integrity, right? So the industry, there really is no industry of Waukee. There isn't a lot of even fast food or what would you call it? Not residential. I'm an idiot. The other kind of land. I'm so stupid, dude. What? Oh my god. Whatever. The there's one strip in Waukee where there's a Culver's and a McDonald's and a Burger King and a Wendy. There's one strip, right? And even in a town that's not, I would say like it's hard to get there compared to like some places. But even for me, it's like one street, bang, we're over, we're done. There we go. Starbucks. Everything's easy. And if we don't have stuff on a extremely fast timeline, then something goes off in our brain for some reason that, something's wrong. Quite honestly, and I don't think I don't know if there's a way to do this, but I think it's just an intentional self-practice that maybe everybody needs to, it would benefit everybody to do work on within themselves of slowing down and reworking the pace at which we expect things to happen. Right? Pull back, rein in our expectations of speed when it comes to how fast things should happen, right? We've been spoiled. So again, when we aren't happy that we haven't lost 4 pounds this week because somehow in the first week we started, we lost 4 pounds and now we think that should be the standard. Well, let's pull it back a little bit. All right. Now, what I want to talk about, and I said this wasn't going to be a long podcast, and it's not. I'm going to get to the point here. What I want to talk about is that applies to your workouts as well. It is a misconception that you should go into every workout feeling your best, that you will go into every workout feeling your best. You should always try, right, with your recovery and your nutrition and everything you can do to push you towards that 100%. But you aren't going to show up every day to the gym with the following, right? 100% motivation, the best sleep you've ever gotten, your nutrition's been on point, your hydration's been on point, your body is recovered, muscles feel good, you're stretched, you're loose, right? Your joints feel good, stretched, loose. The stress of that day was just perfect, right? You weren't overstressed by work or family or friends or whatever it may be. The pre-workout hits just right. The workout you're doing is the perfect movements for you. There's so many factors. Right. And the one that I'm dealing with right now for myself is, and it happens the more and more intense and focused you get in fitness. And it also comes with an understanding, right? A gained understanding. I am fortunate as a coach and someone who's been training, programming for myself and doing workouts for myself for now going on 17 years. That I understand that concept, right? There are days where, well, like about 10 days ago, I hit a personal best back squat, 1 rep back squat, 400 pounds, which is the most I've ever put on the bar and done, relative to the body weight I'm at right now. So I once squatted 405 for a single, which would be the 4 wheels. And that was when I weighed 235 pounds, maybe 238 pounds the day I did that. Funny that I still remember. I'm now around 40 pounds lighter, 196, 197, 198, depending on the morning. And so, take off 15 to 20% of my body weight. And I hit 400 and made it look just as clean as that 405 did. So essentially the exact same, call it the exact same output at 20% less body weight. And we all knew mass moves mass. So pound for pound, I am much stronger. So I'm the strongest I've ever been in back squat right now. However, if I were to go the next day and try to hit that 405 or that 400, good chance I probably don't do it. If I were to go the next day, 2 days later, and try and do it again, it's a good chance I probably wouldn't do it. Hell, there's a decent chance that I don't lift that much for a week or 2 weeks or a month. Because when you're talking about the last little bit of percentage, the highest amount of performance, the highest amount of weight loss variance, it just doesn't happen every interval that you're looking for it to happen, right? Very much so like it's a 2-step forward, 1-step back process when losing weight. It's the same thing when you're getting stronger or you're getting faster. You're going to have those days where everything lines up perfectly. You're feeling good. It's the perfect temperature. The sun's in the right place. The fucking earth is tilted on its perfect axis and you hit your PR. And then it's going to be a battle for a month or 2 months or 3 months. When you get way up there, like you've been trained as long as I have been, PRs come at the clips of 6 months to a year to maybe longer, right? I have not, for instance, and granted, I was not training to hit one, but I hit that back squat PR in the spring of 2018. And then I just hit the new back squat PR in the spring of 2022. Almost 4 years until I PR'd a back squat. So we have to be patient. If I go in the gym and I lift 360 and it feels like 400 did, it doesn't mean that I can't any longer squat the 400, that 400 was a fluke, right? Similar to if I weigh 190 one day and I'm trying to lose weight and then I weigh 192, it's not like that 190 was a fluke. It's all part of the journey. You have to zoom out. The best way to do this is to immediately shift your time frame of which you are measuring something, right? And again, we'll go back to the body weight thing. The easiest way to do this is a lot of people like to weigh themselves every single day. Wouldn't advise it. There's no reason to. There's no reason to weigh yourself every single day. Because undoubtedly, your body's going to retain water. You're going to go to the bathroom at different times. Certain workouts are going to affect you one way. You're going to eat a certain meal that makes you retain, or it's going to sit in your gut and digestive system one way or another. And it's going to affect what you weigh. Give yourself a week. Weigh every Monday, every Saturday morning, every Sunday evening, whatever you want to do. Pick a time and make that consistent. And then weigh every week, right? Test a PR every 8 weeks or 12 weeks, right? Measure your waist or your quads or your hips every 4 to 8 weeks, 2 months. Not every day. Don't do it every day. Zoom out and you'll see the bigger picture. And I know that mentally that's extremely hard to deal with. That is a challenge. And the only way that you get better with dealing with that is experience and reps, days, right? Each day is a rep. And every time, for example, I know I can clean, power clean, full clean. I know I can clean somewhere around 315 to 320 pounds. today I worked up to what should have been a max. It was supposed to be work up to a max, right? The most I hit was 305 pounds. Does that mean I've gotten worse? No. No, it means that where I'm at right now, my body, my recovery, all this, I haven't tapered. I'm just in the middle of training. I was traveling yesterday. Just means that today I didn't have it. But we continue to move that baseline to where someday 320 will be what I hit. And that's what I'll be disappointed with because my max will be 335. We just keep creeping forward. Be patient. Zoom out. And don't let one day or 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month of plateau derail you. Because what's the other alternative, right? Where do we go with this mindset of I'm getting discouraged because I'm not seeing progress? Well, you have two options. It's very, very simple. You either A, continue to do the work and trust in the process of consistency and slow term results, or you stop working for those gains, for those goals altogether. Sure, it's never guaranteed. You don't have a 100% money back guarantee on the work you're putting in. And it may take time to get to those results. And it may be twice as long to get to the goal you have or whatever you've set for yourself. But I know this, if you just stop working altogether like that, like, oh, I'm not seeing results, I'm going to quit. Well, that definitely isn't going to work. Right? There is no magic. There is no magic system where you're going to quit, find some new routine, and all of a sudden that new routine is giving you that 100% guarantee. There is nothing. You're not going to find it. So what's going to happen is you're going to quit. You don't see results. You're going to quit. You don't find something new. You don't see results. You're going to quit. You're just going to go through this cycle every month, 2 months until you realize, oh, that magic pill is the consistency factor. I have to do something for 2-3 months to see something, for 6 months to see something serious, for a year to see life-changing results, for a lifetime to see my true potential. Consistency and patience. Hope you guys have a fantastic Wednesday. I know this, I think about as we have passed December 21st, every day we get a little bit closer to where it continues to get more light outside. The days are a little bit longer and it gets a little bit warmer. That's good for everybody. Have a fantastic week, everybody. We'll talk next week. Peace.